Welcome to MSC-TV News. Here are your weekly headlines for Macon State College. There is a new Assistant Dean of Students here at Macon State. We'll have an interview with Michael Stewart and Dean McCraney. Recently, Steak and Shake held a college night. We'll see what Director of Local Marketing Joe Fox had to say about the event. Next up, recent cold weather conditions have caused safety hazards in central Georgia. We'll have tips on how to stay safe. And finally, we'll show you an update on quicker ways to get around campus. All these stories and more coming up on this week's edition of MSC-TV News.
Hello and welcome to the first edition of MSC-TV for 2010. I'm Dustyn Archer.
And I'm Kelly Geeslin.
In our first story, Macon State has selected a new Assistant Dean of Students. We go to Megan Smith for more on this topic.
Michael Stewart, former Director of Student Life, was selected as the new Assistant Dean of Students at Macon State College. I talked to Dean McCraney and Michael Stewart about this new position.
The Assistant Dean of Students is a position created within the Office of Student Affairs. And the three main responsibilities of that person are to manage student conduct on campus, to manage our behavioral assessment team, and to manage the implementation of our drug-free campus policy. Regarding the selection of the candidate for the Assistant Dean of Students, after looking at the responsibilities that a campus of this size required, I made a recommendation to Dr. Bell that the position be created, and that after a lot of thoughtful consideration, recommended that Michael Stewart be the individual who was chosen to serve in that role. And Dr. Bell approved my recommendation, and Mr. Stewart accepted the position, and he is now serving as our first Assistant Dean of Students.
I actually found out officially that I was named Assistant Dean of Students after I came back from a vacation back in October. First initial feeling was sort of shock and surprise, but then a sense of pride that having been at Macon State for 12 years now, that my efforts at Macon State were deemed worthy enough of the position. For the past year or so, I've been heavily involved in student conduct and judicial matters at Macon State College, anything from plagiarism to behavioral issues. Not something I think anybody ever grows up thinking, oh, I want to deal with student conduct, but it's something that I have grown to see the value, not necessarily just for the student involved, but for the hundreds and thousands of other students at Macon State, particularly with behavioral issues, that if there's a student who, for whatever reason, is acting in a way that is a potential hindrance to other students' education, that we get that student, either find them resources to help them get back on track, or we remove them from the environment altogether. So I feel like I will bring that sense of importance, not just to the one student, but to every student, every other student on Macon State's campuses.
This is Megan Smith with MSC-TV News.
In our next story, Steak and Shake is now hosting a college night event. We go to Brittany Spornhauer for more on this event.
I went to Steak and Shake on Watson Boulevard and had an interview with Mr. Joe Fox about college night. Let's see what he had to say.
Steak and Shake is having College ID night every Thursday night from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. at our Mercer University location in Macon, our Tom Hill location in Macon, as well as our Warner Robin location here off of Margie Drive. We're pleased to also announce that we are open 24 hours, 7 days a week. We have a Wi-Fi, which is great for studying, even at late night. So please feel free, come, enjoy, try it out, and let us know what you think. And as always, College ID night at Steak and Shake from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. every Thursday night.
In other news, recent weather conditions have caused some safety hazards that we should all look out for. Kelly Geeslin has more on this topic.
This January, Macon has experienced some icy weather. The week of the 11th, temperatures dropped to well below freezing, causing lakes to freeze over, including the one in Lake Wildwood and the one on the MSC campus. Rumors of snow in Macon caused school closings and last-minute runs to the grocery store for supplies of ice and non-perishable items. In the larger Georgia area, frozen pipes, a number of power outages, and several car pileups were blamed on the cold weather. Here are a few tips to follow when faced with icy weather this winter. When driving, decrease your speed and leave yourself plenty of room to stop. Brake gently to avoid skidding on the roads. Use lower gears to keep traction, especially on hills. Be especially careful on bridges, overpasses, and in frequently traveled roads. And finally, a couple of tips for Macon State students. Don't try to walk across the thin ice, and don't throw things onto the ice that you're going to want back. For more tips on how to deal with the icy weather, go to weatherchannel.com. And now for the weather. How's it looking out there, Sarah?
Well, Kelly, Monday will be partly cloudy with a high of 62. Tuesday will be sunny with a high of 56. Wednesday will be mostly sunny with a high of 60. Thursday will be mostly cloudy with a high of 60. Friday will be mostly sunny, also with a high of 60.
Thanks, Sarah. And finally, for this week, Macon State College has gone through a lot of construction in the last few months. Chris Rogers found a better way to get around campus.
Last semester, you saw one way to get around campus. That path is now blocked, so we have a newer way that will help you get around campus much faster. Let's go. Turn right down the new path. Tough decision to be made, but don't go to the right, go to the left. The left. Don't go down that way. You'll go to a dead end. Go to the right. You are now in the lobby of the Professional Sciences Building, where there is a Starbucks for your enjoyment. And those are some quicker ways to get around campus. I'm Chris Rogers reporting for MSC-TV.
Thank you for joining us for MSC-TV. I'm Dustyn Archer.
And I'm Kelly Geeslin. Have a great week, everyone.